The sound you just heard might be the entire NFC North collective nightmare becoming reality. Picture this. The most explosive offense in football just got handed the keys to an absolute fortress in the trenches. I'm talking about two names that make defensive coordinators lose sleep at night. Two guards who've been dismantling pass rushers for years, and they might be headed to the Motor City. Stay locked in because what I'm about to break down could completely reshape the landscape of this Lions championship window. Welcome to Lions News Fan Report, your home for breaking updates, insider analysis, and everything you need to know about our beloved Detroit Lions. I'm bringing you the stories that matter, the moves that count, and the rumors that could change everything. And trust me, what's brewing right now is absolutely massive. Before we dive deep into this bombshell, let me set the stage for you. The Lions are sitting at 5-3 after a tough loss to Minnesota, and while the offense continues to put up historic numbers, there's been chatter about sustainability, about protection, about keeping Jared Goff upright when it matters most in January and hopefully February. Our line has been solid, no question about it, but championship teams don't settle for solid. They hunt for dominant. They search for elite. And that's exactly what Brad Holmes and this front office have been doing. Now, here's where things get interesting. Cleveland is in complete chaos mode. The Browns are spiraling, sitting at the bottom of their division. And when organizations hit rock bottom like this, they start making decisions that other teams dream about. Fire sales happen, rebuilds accelerate, and suddenly players who seemed untouchable become very, very available. We've seen this movie before across the league. When teams implode, contenders strike. And the Lions? We're not just contenders anymore. We're hunters. So let me paint you a picture of what could be unfolding behind closed doors right now. Joel Bitonio, 5-time Pro Bowler, 4-time All-Pro, the anchor of Cleveland's offensive line for over a decade. Wyatt Teller, 3-time Pro Bowler, widely considered one of the most physically dominant guards in the entire National Football League. Two players who've defined excellence at their position, two players who've protected quarterbacks and opened running lanes at an elite level year after year. And both of them are currently stuck on a Browns team that's going absolutely nowhere fast. Think about the timing here for a second. The Lions just watched their defense struggle against Minnesota. The narrative all week has been about needing help on that side of the ball, about edge rushers and secondary depth. But here's what the smartest organizations understand. Championships aren't won by fixing weaknesses. They're won by making your strengths absolutely unstoppable. And our strength? It's this offense. It's Jared Goff having time to pick defenses apart. It's David Montgomery and Jahmyr Gibbs running through caverns created by our offensive line. It's Ben Johnson scheming up plays that only work when the guys up front give our skilled players that extra half second. Now, imagine adding Bitonio and Teller to this equation. Imagine the versatility, the depth, the sheer physicality. You're talking about creating a rotation of elite offensive linemen that can stay fresh deep into games, deep into the season, deep into a playoff run. You're talking about having all-pro caliber players at every single position across that line. You're talking about an offensive line that would legitimately go down as one of the greatest units in NFL history. Let's get into the specifics here because this isn't just fantasy football talk. This is real, tangible possibility based on how these situations typically unfold. Bitonio is 33 years old, which in guard years is still prime territory. Guards don't rely on speed or explosiveness that deteriorates with age. They rely on technique, intelligence, and power, all things that Bitonio has in abundance. His pass protection metrics have remained elite, even as Cleveland's quarterback situation has been a revolving door of chaos. He's given up just a handful of sacks over the past 3 seasons combined. That's the kind of consistency you can plug in immediately and trust. Wyatt Teller brings a different element entirely. At 30 years old, he's in the sweet spot of his career where experience meets peak physical ability. The man is an absolute mauler in the run game. Pro Football Focus has consistently graded him as one of the top run-blocking guards in football. Picture Teller leading the way for Gibbs on those outside zone runs or creating push in short yardage situations when we need to impose our will. The physicality he brings would elevate an already strong running game into something truly special. Here's what makes this scenario so plausible, beyond just wishful thinking. Cleveland is paying both of these guys significant money. Bitonio carries a cap hit that a rebuilding team might want to shed to create flexibility for the future. Teller's contract runs through next season, but if the Browns are committing to a full teardown, moving him now could net them draft capital to accelerate their rebuild. And from Detroit's perspective, we're in win-now mode. We have a quarterback on a team-friendly deal, we have rookie contracts still on the books, and we have a window that's wide open right now. This is exactly when you make aggressive moves to maximize your championship odds. The financial logistics would require some maneuvering, absolutely. But Brad Holmes has shown time and time again that he's one of the most creative general managers in football when it comes to cap management. We've seen him restructure deals. We've seen him create space when it seemed impossible. If there's a will to make this happen, there's absolutely a way. And given what's at stake, given how close this team is to genuine Super Bowl contention, you have to believe the will is there. Let's talk about the on-field impact in concrete terms. Right now, our offensive line is good. Frank Ragnow is elite at center, obviously. Penei Sewell has developed into one of the best tackles in football. Taylor Decker remains solid on the left side, but adding Bitonio and Teller would give us options we simply don't have right now. You could move pieces around based on matchups. You could rest starters without any drop-off in performance. You could handle injuries without panic. Depth wins championships, and elite depth? That's how you dominate championships. Consider what happened to us last season when injuries started piling up. Every team deals with attrition, but the teams that survive and thrive are the ones with quality depth. If we're serious about not just making the playoffs but winning the whole thing, we need to be prepared for the worst while building toward the best. Bitonio and Teller give us that insurance policy while simultaneously raising our ceiling. There's also the intangible factor here that can't be ignored. Both of these guys are winners. They've played meaningful football. They know what it takes to compete at the highest level week in and week out. Bringing in veterans with that kind of pedigree into a locker room that's already bought in, that's already hungry, that's already building something special. That's how you create championship culture. That's how you add layers of leadership and accountability that pay dividends in crucial moments. Now, I know what some of you might be thinking. Why would Cleveland trade within the conference? Why would they help out a team that could potentially face them down the road? Here's the reality. When you're 2-6 and spiraling, you're not worried about helping or hurting other teams. You're worried about maximizing value for your organization's future. If Detroit offers the best package, if we're willing to pay what it takes, Cleveland would be foolish to let conference alignment stand in the way of a deal that helps their rebuild. Business is business, and in today's NFL, loyalty to conference pride takes a backseat to organizational necessity. The other question is, what would it cost? We're probably talking about mid-round draft picks, maybe a third or fourth rounder for each player, depending on how desperate Cleveland is to move them. Could it cost more? Possibly, if there's a bidding war. But here's the thing. Draft picks are lottery tickets. They're hopes and maybes. Bitonio and Teller are proven commodities. They're sure things. And when you're as close as we are, you trade lottery tickets for guarantees every single time. Think about the message this would send to the rest of the league, too. The Lions aren't just happy to be here. We're not satisfied with being competitive. We're going all in. We're stacking chips. We're building something that can stand toe-to-toe with Kansas City, with San Francisco, with Philadelphia, with anyone who stands between us and a Lombardi trophy. That's the mentality of champions, and that's exactly what this organization has cultivated under Dan Campbell's leadership. I keep coming back to what this would mean for Jared Goff specifically. He's playing the best football of his career right now. His decision-making has been exceptional, his accuracy has been elite, and he's shown he can carry this team when needed. But even the best quarterbacks need time to operate. Even the most accurate passers need a clean pocket. Give Goff the kind of protection that Bitonio and Teller would provide, and you're looking at an offense that could genuinely be unstoppable. We're talking about the potential to lead the league in scoring, to break franchise records, to put up numbers that people will talk about for decades. And let's not forget about the run game, which has been the identity of this offense. We've built everything around being physical, around controlling the line of scrimmage, around imposing our will on opponents. Bitonio and Teller fit that identity perfectly. They're maulers, they're finishers. They're exactly the kind of players who would thrive in Ben Johnson's scheme. Imagine the play-action opportunities when defenses have to respect our run game even more than they already do. Imagine the bootlegs, the screens, the misdirection plays that become available when you can consistently win at the point of attack. Here's what I genuinely believe is happening right now. Brad Holmes is on the phone. He's exploring options. He's doing his due diligence on every possible move that could improve this roster, and you can bet that Cleveland's situation hasn't escaped his notice. Whether it's Bitonio, Teller, or both, the opportunity to upgrade our offensive line with proven elite talent is sitting right there. The only question is whether we're willing to be aggressive enough to make it happen. This is the moment that defines championship windows. This is when you separate the pretenders from the contenders, the good teams from the great ones. We've built something special here in Detroit. The culture is right, the coaching is elite, the roster is talented. But championship teams don't wait for opportunities. They create them. They strike when the iron is hot. They make the moves that seem bold in the moment but look genius in hindsight. So, here's where we stand. The possibility is real. The fit is perfect. The timing couldn't be better. Joel Bitonio and Wyatt Teller could be exactly what takes this Lions offense from great to historically dominant. And if Brad Holmes can pull this off, if he can somehow land one or both of these guys, we're looking at a team that would be absolutely terrifying for the rest of the league to face in January and February. I'm optimistic about this because I trust the vision that's been built here. I trust that this organization understands the magnitude of the opportunity in front of us. And I trust that when the chance to get better presents itself, we're going to take it. This is our time. This is our window. And bringing in players like Bitonio and Teller could be exactly what slams that window wide open and keeps it there for years to come. So what do you think about all this? Would you want to see the Lions make an aggressive move for one or both of these elite guards? Do you think it's worth the draft capital it would cost? How would you feel about doubling down on the offensive line instead of chasing defensive help? Drop your thoughts in the comments below, because I want to hear from every single one of you. We're bringing you the fastest updates and the deepest analysis anywhere on YouTube. Hit that like button if you enjoyed this breakdown, and share this with every Lions fan you know, because this is the kind of news that we all need to be talking about. The future is bright in Detroit, and it's about to get even brighter. Let's ride this wave together. One pride.